Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel, and good morning, good Monday morning. Obviously, New Year's Eve's Eve. All right. Obviously, Spurs playing yesterday, 3 p.m. 2-2 draw at home to Wolves. We talk about the game. We're talking about some quite interesting takeaways that I had from the game. Which, yeah, I don't know what you guys think. We'll see what you guys think in just a second. And look, we've got obviously some more takeaways into the Newcastle game from this game as well. Obviously, knowing that Rodrigo Bentancur is going to be missing that game because of, and I put this as nicely as I possibly can, a stupid yellow card. A really, really stupid yellow card. So look, the game itself. I watched him. I actually watched it. I didn't. Obviously, I fell asleep in the last game. I actually watched this game. All right, I wasn't asleep. I wasn't hungover, and it was a game that I think we didn't kill. Okay, it's the first takeaway I have on this game is we didn't kill the game. We had, good chances. We're good, not just like we had a shot from 25 yards and the keeper put it around the post. It was like, through on goals and things like that. And we should have scored more. Now, obviously, Brennan's goal, very good. Bentancur's header, very nice. Obviously, we went 1-0 down to start that game with Hwang Hee-chan's goal in the 7th minute. 5 minutes later, we equalise. And then we score just before half-time. And then Strand Larsen scored in the 87th minute to obviously make it 2-2. Ironically, we actually didn't have as much possession as I thought we might have. We had actually less possession than Wolves, okay? Now, we had more shots with the same amount of corners. On paper, it looked quite an even game, okay? A lot of the stats mirror up pretty nicely, barring pretty much just the shots, because even the shots on target are the same, pretty much the same amount of fouls, everything's pretty much the same. And, I sort of said, look, Spurs, I thought, what did I predict? I think I went 2-1. I was there and thereabouts to the 87th minute. Now, the key takeaways, there's a few in this game that I have. The first one is a lot of people wanted Ange to do the whole, try and see off a game, sit back a little bit, all those things. And we did that. And we don't have the players for that. It wasn't what we wanted, okay? So the fans that say, Ange doesn't want to sit back, actually wants to go gun-ho and things like that. Obviously, you got your wish. And we sat back. It didn't work. So that was one of my takeaways. Second takeaway is why on earth in the year of basically 2025, let me put my charger in, 1 second. Why in the year of 2025 am I seeing Sergio Reguilon and Timo Werner as my left-sided attack and defense? That is beyond embarrassing. Then I want to go on Twitter and I see people going, I tell you what, Reguilon's cameo is quite good. It's like, oh, that's how far we've sunk. Oh my God. He shouldn't be at this club. We should actually have a left back at this club that we want to play, because guess what? If we had a left back at this club we wanted to play, Desi Adogi wouldn't be injured right now. Coming off of a very large surgery, no preseason, having to play 2, sometimes 3 games a week, I'm shocked he's made it this far. Absolutely shocked he's made it this far without picking up a big injury again. He went off with tightness and things like that, and that was the precursor. He's going off with tightness. He's going off, preventing injuries. It was a matter of time until he got the injury, and he did. And it's an absolute gutting shame, but everyone saw it coming. The backup left back, injured. The backup to that backup left back, injured. Now the left back is injured. So now down to our 4th option. Okay. We're not going to have those other 2 left backs as well, by the way. We're not going to have them for another few weeks. So what you just saw this week is what you're going to see going forward. And you could be Ange in, you could be Ange out. I think everyone can agree that left-hand side, what you saw yesterday ending that game, is not acceptable. Like I said, regardless if you're Ange in or Ange out, it's irrelevant. That left-hand side is not acceptable. It just isn't. Flat out unacceptable. Obviously, Dragusin back. He wasn't 100%. You could tell he was playing through something, which fair play to the guy, playing through some injuries. And to be fair, that's the one thing you say is a lot of these players seem to... let me rephrase this. a lot of those players seem to be willing to play through the pain barrier at times because of, the respect for the club and Ange and all those people, which is more than I can say for some of these players when it came to previous managers. And, you still get people digging him out. And it's like, I genuinely, I do actually think people that dig out like a Radu Dragic after yesterday on Twitter are just as much of a problem as people that are, Ange out or Ange in, and they're drawing their swords and fighting one another. People that slag off our own players when they're clearly not 100%, they're clearly playing through injuries, they're clearly fatigued, are just as much of a problem in this fan base, 100%. You might not think he's good enough, but for goodness sake, he's trying, and he's the only fit centre half we have right now. So I'm going to give him as much respect as I can, because he was not 100% yesterday. You could tell. He wasn't moving great. He wasn't really at full speed. And yet maybe that plays a part into the fact that we concede that second goal. But what else are we going to do? I mean, Ange even says, like, mate, what do we have here? So look, centre back wise, my God, we need one. There's another takeaway I want, actually, and this is quite. I want to talk about this one. Kulusevski, right? I think he's been fantastic this year. I really, really think he's been fantastic this year. My God, he gives the ball away quite a bit, doesn't he? Though the amount of times we're under the cosh, the ball goes out to him, and he tries to take on two players with some stupid trickery, and it's like, you've lost the ball though, and now they are 2-on-1 against Porro, and you know what? I feel for all right, but if it's Spence, I feel for him. Hell, if it's Reguilon, I feel for Reguilon, because you're leaving 2-on-1 against that fullback. He's not expected to be able to defend that on his own, and that's the issue. Our fullbacks do get left 2-on-1 a little bit too often, with our wingers giving the ball away too cheaply. That was another key takeaway I took from that game. I was shocked to see Maddison not playing. And by the way, I have no issues with him going to the darts yesterday. He's a human. He's allowed to go and enjoy life from time to time. No issues with him going to the darts. And if you have an issue with him going to the darts, you need to check yourself, okay? Because that's embarrassing. Oh, but he's lost. He lost. It's like, yeah, he's also a human being. This is his job, but he's a human being. He's allowed to have downtime. You could be crap at your job. You could be underperforming. Your boss is not saying you need to be at work 24/7, 7 days a week. They're not. Okay, so no issues in going to the darts, okay? Again, zero issues. But I thought he should have started for me. And look, Johnson scored. He looked fairly lively. Looked like he was putting some effort in, which was quite nice. It's something that I think we all were crying out for. But again, it's the issue of these players aren't fit. They just aren't. They are so all unbelievably knackered. They are. They're, playing 3 days a week with the same 13 to 14 players. They're shattered. And that's why they're struggling. That is really the crux of all of our issues. You're allowed, right? You're allowed a few injuries and suspensions here and there, right? And it happens. It does. But when you are looking at the situation of now, keeper's gone, three of your centre halves are now gone, two of which also play backup left back, and now your your left back's gone as well. Because bear in mind, when we talk about Jed Spence coming back this weekend, Jed Spence was not the backup left back. He was probably fourth in line, actually probably fifth in line behind Archie Gray to play left back. So we're talking about three centre backs, two of which being the left back, but now we've got the left back gone as well. You are missing four of your back five. You're now actually going to miss Bentancur for the next game as well. So you're now missing your starting 6 or 8, wherever you want to call him. But you're missing one of your starting midfielders, okay? It's just bonkers. You're missing Odebear, and, is Richie going to be okay to play? I know we come back to training, but are they going to push Richie back into the squad when knowing, hey, he cannot stay fit? Do we give him an extra week? And I think they gave him a lot of time last time. Still came back and got injured quite quickly. So I don't know what the magic style is in this, Doggy is injured, yeah. People will blame Ange for Reguilon and Werner being in the squad. Well, they'll say Werner's a he signing, but If you think that was all Ange, then you mustn't know who Daniel Levy is. People want to sit back, yet when we do that, people complain you cannot win. No, you can't win. You can't win. But also, there's a lot of people that want us to sit back. They got shown what sitting back looks like when you've got what we have. It didn't work. It's funny how, maybe it's on the players, because no matter what happens it's not good enough. It's not Ange. Okay. Now, you can have an issue with some of Ange's form and picks. Totally get that. And I'm on board with that. Like I said, I wanted Maddison to play yesterday. I'm agreeing with you on certain things. But let's be honest. Show me what we're supposed to do with some of the players that we've got right now. I got told when Dragic, I got told Dragic is not good enough. Archie Gray's a central midfielder. Sergio Reguilon is what? The 6th choice left back at the club? Shouldn't be at the club. By the way, January, please move him. Just move him. Do not have him at the club. He's not good enough. Show us what we're supposed to do defensively. And it's funny what happens when we have, some fit centre halves. We're quite good. Anyway, let's see some more comments. Werner and Reguilon on the left is a thing of nightmares. Spencer back. Yeah, I don't want Terzic. No, I do not want Terzic. But I will probably say the reason why I don't want Terzic is, yes, he got to the Champions League final last year, right? He did. But if you saw how his relationship with some of those players and the board was very poor. Not for me. We can even do... There's people on the market that is better than him anyway, Agree. Who cares what they do outside of work unless it affects their ability to turn up ready to work? Yeah, if they're turning up hungover, then that's a bit different. And just giving them a couple of days off so from the finish of the game because it became their personal time. Yeah, they're allowed to have personal time. They are humans. This is their job, but they're also allowed to have a day off. Mikey has to return to the bench and Werner out the squad. I've tried to back him when he dribbles. That one where the ball's going out and it's like little touch there with your left foot and you go in. He tries to touch it his right and it just rolls out. I was literally there like, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. But it was like I was this close to losing it. Trust the process, lads. I've seen this with Ange. It's deja vu. I'm starting to think that Ange Ball isn't sustainable in the Premier League. It's the highest league in the world. Lots of recurring injuries. Well, Ange Ball is, if you watch Liverpool yesterday, that's Ange Ball. If you watch Man City, it's Ange Ball. All these big teams all play Ange Ball. They play a variation from time to time. But, if you watch Liverpool yesterday, I was watching them yesterday, which, by the way, Liverpool, they're winning the league, by the way. They are. And I tell you what, we've got them in the League Cup. Obviously, they've got the FA Cup, and they are smashing the Champions League out of the park. They are genuinely, that's a quadruple side, by the way. Like, that's how good they are. And people go, it's Slot, isn't it? It's all Slot. No, he's good. But when you've got the world's best player, you've got the world's best centre-back, you've probably got the world's best keeper, and you've got fit. They're a fit squad. You've got the best right-back in the world. Kind of helps a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah? And also, a lot of these players have been at Liverpool for a long time. Yeah, a lot of these things help. That's why. Because you get people comparing us to Liverpool, and it's like, wow, talk about a terrible argument that you have. But yeah, they all play Ange Ball. But, you look at Man City right now. They have injuries. They're struggling. Happens, Liverpool haven't had injuries. Or if they had injuries, it's the odd one or two. They've not had a Man City where they're missing... Man City are missing Rodri, who's their best player, right? They missed KDB for a long time. They've missed Ruben Dias for multiple weeks. Stones has been injured. Ake's missed some time. I think Akanji's missed time. Keeper's missed time. They have been riddled. So if you can stay fit, a different story. We're a different team when we have somewhat a fit squad. When Romero and Van der Ven are playing, I think the points that we pick up I read a stat. It was like when Spurs have their main five at the back, which includes the keeper, by the way, I think the points we pick up is like 1.88 a game or something like that. So it's quite solid, right? I think without that, we're like 1.44 or 1.47. 2 + 2 = 4. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. You can't sit back when you're physically and mentally exhausted and not expect to concede. How long will we hear about Reguilon? I hope to not only, I hope to say about Reguilon is bye. I'd say bye. And that's it. Give him time to get all the players he needs. It'll work. Wolves had 8 players injured. 5 were first-team players. Every team has it. Nothing new. Every team doesn't have it. I've just told you Liverpool. Liverpool are missing 1 or 2 players. Told you Man City are missing multiple. Arsenal. I got told Arsenal had horrific injury issues and they were missing Erdegaard and maybe 1 or 2 others. It's not all the same, is it? Not all situations are the same. Come on. Hey, El Dente, how are you, mate? Dortmund hierarchy and players hate them. That's true. Annie, I banged the desk with my fist and dented it when Werner did that. Hey, I'm not going to start on you in a fight, Caleb. Jesus. Great manager slot. Look what he inherited. I wonder how good Liverpool would be if Salah gets injury for 3 months. Well, look, if you were to compare this situation, you would say Alisson goes out injured, which he missed some time, by the way. But Kelleher, good backup. Ours is Fraser Forster. No offense, Fraser. So Alisson getting injured. Romero getting injured. Sorry, no, Alisson, Van Dijk, Konate. I wouldn't say Salah because I don't think it's very fair because we haven't really missed our right winger. But like, let's say it's Salah knackered, like Son, right? You're missing Robertson with injury. Trent bang out of form, absolutely knackered. You're missing Gravenberg and you're missing some McAllister. If you start to take all that away all at once, that Liverpool team is not top of the league. And that's the way it works. That's just the way it works. That's why I'm having to explain the situation because people seem to just go, Ange's rubbish, can't win a game of football. It's like, all right, well, maybe there's things that we could do better, but can we just put some things into context and work with context first, then we'll go from there. There's no manager on the market and there's no manager in the Premier League right now that has the situation that we have with the injuries and suspensions that we have that would actually make us win multiple games because it just can't happen. You can't physically make people healthier and fitter when you're playing 3 games later. You can't fix rash challenges and stupidity in the 96th minute. You just can't. There's only so much you can do. You can't hold these players' hands out in the park and not make stupid mistakes. But also, you can't stop them getting injured sometimes. I mean, people go, Romero's injuries on Ange. It's like, okay, you have no idea what's going on then because his injury was nothing to do with his previous injury. His previous injury was a toe. He got a quad. Now, I don't know if you know the leg and how it works. The toe is by your foot, right? It's right on your foot. And the quad is right by your hip. Hip, foot, right? So I don't ever want to hear about that. Don't ever want to hear that Romero's injury is on Ange. What is Ange supposed to do about Vicario fracturing his ankle? If he played on or not, he still has a fractured ankle. He's still going to miss time. Adrenaline is a thing. You might just think it's a bruised ankle, you move on, right? Not his fault. Desi a doggy. What can he do? It's Reguilon on a doggy. I'm playing a doggy every day of the week and twice on Sundays. It's not, Reguilon isn't good enough. I've seen it so many times at Spurs. He isn't good enough. Dragajin yesterday, what can we do? He's playing through something. He's trying his best. Ben Davies tried to come back. Clearly wasn't good enough to come back. Medical team needed to do something there. Have a word with yourselves. Because that's in training. That's not even on the pitch. But he's trying to come back because obviously we're playing an 18-year-old central midfield at centre-back. So again, it's all these things put into context. Can Ange control Bentancur and what he says on Uruguayan TV? You know what I mean? Come on, be better. We all should be a bit better. Anyway. Great. Man City are underperforming worse than Spurs relative to their position total salary. Yeah, it's not much in it, though. It's not much in it. Thing is, Salah has 30 goals, assists. If someone's producing like that, we all had these injuries. We wouldn't struggle as much. Yeah, but the thing is, Caleb, is you can rotate Salah. You can get Salah a game off here and there because you've still got Diaz, Gakpo, Nunez, Jota, Harvey Elliott, even. Our three left wingers, right? So you have Mikey, Werner, and Odebear, all have missed considerable amounts of time, two of which have missed months. One has missed quite a few games actually recently with injuries and illness. It's just been Son. He's playing 3 times a week. He's 32 years old. No 32-year-old really plays 3 times a week in such an intense league and looks good from it. They'll show you flashes and they'll show you spells, but to show like 90 minutes every single time, I don't blame him, you know? Do you think some of our starters are thinking of leaving? I think some of our starters should be gone, personally. I do, but I've always said that, you know? And just causing all the hamstrings. Good to see that you think that, Heung-Min. Okay. Ange's going, no, not at all. Do you think we honestly have lined up anything lined up ready to go January 1st, 2nd? No, I just think signing players so early on January is so difficult. It's such a like you got 31 days in January, right? Yeah, you do. You do. I'm trying to do that song in my head. So you got 31 days in January. You compare it to summer, where you have so many months. You have so many months as well as a selling team to replace those players. You know, selling someone in like the 21st of July, right? Super easy. You still got a couple of months to replace. Season hasn't started for another month. All great. January. If you sign someone on the 21st of January, you're like, oh, we've got 10 days to replace this guy. And 10 days sounds like a lot, but this isn't FIFA. This isn't Football Manager. That's not how it works. So that's why it's such a difficult month. That's why people saying we need to sign 5 players in January, just not really understanding what January is. That's why I said I think we get 2. I think we get 2. I think maybe it's somewhat like last year where we'll get someone in the middle of January. Like Werner was what, the 14th? Was it 11th or the 14th of January? Something like that. Mid-January, drags you in towards the back end of January, right? That's how I kind of see this month looking like again. I think someone towards the middle, someone towards the ends. Who that's going to be, I don't know. But I mean, right now, if you can just give me someone that's going to stay fit, I'll probably take them. That's how down bad we are, you know? Yeah, I mean, you've told me that you wanted Harry Redknapp, and that's why I'm not really interested, mate. Sorry. Hey, Donna, how are you? Andrew will walk rather than be sat to think. I think he will think no one appreciates what he does. Well, I'm there. I appreciate what he does. I also understand the situation, you know. Maybe I'm just a different breed. Maybe I just, maybe understand. Damn, if you're missing like 10 to 12 players, you're gonna struggle a little bit. Damn. Ange controls tactics, and he did yesterday, and he did exactly what people wanted, and we still didn't win. So, regardless, what can you do in 13 players? Langeman and McKenzie should all be sat for negligence. How are they allowed squad to be this thin is madness. Well, it's Levy, mate. That's why. Oh, that former manager for Porto's joining AC Milan. Hopefully, we don't get another Werner. We already have one too many. We probably have more than one, to be honest, if you know what I mean. Would you take Reguilon if you could stay fit? You don't use my words against me. Don't use them against me, because that's one step too far. For all the months I have watched you, I have came to the conclusion that Donna is your mate. No, I have no idea who Donna is, mate. No idea. People know who I know accounts-wise. We need to buy or loan a goalkeeper this January. Forster is not good enough. Apparently, we're not going to be looking at a goalkeeper. Apparently so. Apparently, it's because we think, well, excuse me, they apparently said that because we obviously have Vicario joining us back in 6 weeks' time, they think we can get by. But to be honest, I think Fraser Forster might have gotten a little bit injured yesterday as well. Of course, that's Ange's fault, by the way. A goalkeeper, that's Ange's fault. Out of those 2 players, Andy, what would you prioritize first, defense or attack? Defense. We score goals. That's the thing. We score goals. We create chances. We just need it. We just need defense. I just think that left back, left centre back area is crying out for work. It has, even with players fit, by the way, even with Mickey fit and Destiny fit, By the way, Ben Davies, I think in the summer we need to consider moving on. I know he's been good, but he misses way too much time every single season with injuries. Because again, when he plays, it's because normally Mickey's injured. And then you're asking Ben Davies, who's in his 30s, to play 2 or 3 times a week. It isn't doable. That's why, I'm looking at players like Basuma, right? 29, last year of his deal. I think it's time to move on because players do not get fitter as they get older. Players get more injured. They break down a lot more. I mean, look, I'm 28. I'm 29 in a couple of months. Compare me at 18 to me at 28 are two extremely different people. Recovery at the gym takes so much more now than it does when it was, 10 years ago. Sorry, it's my AirPods. I'll put them down. So, look, I think that's why. And you see, Parachi was in the stadium, one of the boxes. Apparently, he's there quite frequently. He is still allowed to be a consultant. He's not allowed to take the meetings. So he's not allowed to take meetings, but he's allowed to provide consultancy or get you in contact with someone. He can be like, there's that chief exec's number, or email, shoot a message. He can do those sort of things. He just can't actually do the deals. So he can basically put you in a room with someone, but he can't be in the room. That's the kind of gist that I got of the situation. Happy New Year, Matt. It's been a while. Great from you. Hey, Silver Fred, how you been, man? I have noticed you haven't been here. How you been? Ben score has 99 aggression. Painful. Stupid foul. Forster is fine unless the target backup goalkeeper is available in January. Don't commit to another player to. Yeah, I think if you're going to be buying a keeper, it's someone that you want to give 6 months time of adjustment to. But I don't think it's someone that you go for. I think there's other concerns. I mean, Vic missed how many games last season? It's a freak injury that he got. I lost $100 on the GG yesterday. I put it down to Ange. Oh, terrible. Must be Ange's fault. And Peter, you had that rubbish dinner the other week. That's Ange's fault as well. A lot of just people are miserable. I get it. Football is such a massive part of people's lives that winning is such a massive thing. I guess maybe you mature a little bit and realize other things in your life should take more impact on your happiness. Just saying. I think good number 6 is what we needed. I think they will speak to Betis over Cardoso. Will they get it done? I don't know. It will be something in the summer that I expect them to get done. But if Betis do need money, and we talked about it in the video, Betis may need to raise 20 million in profit. Our spy and Cardoso, I think, is about 25 million. So it'd give them that and a bit more breathing room. Plus, you obviously save on his wages. That's a big thing as well. It makes so much sense. But Levy's going to go, we'll get him on the 29th of January because I would have saved 2 million. It's like, okay, by that point, we're absolutely destroyed in all the cups and we're absolutely having a terrible season now. We are done, That Ben score, hang on. Let's trust Ange. I believe in him because of injuries, that's why we're losing. I agree. That Ben score yellow hurts. Yellow cards reset second half of the season. It's so close, wasn't it? It was so close. I'm happy to hear Parachi was there yesterday. Yeah, he's still involved. He is still involved. Don't worry. He's still with the club. Would you take Would you take the two positions for both the defense or one of it? I would take one defender and an attacker. Yeah, I would take a defender and an attacker. What that attacker would look like, I'm not too sure, but that's probably the way I'd go about it. I would love Cunha, Mbeumo, and Anthony Robinson, but I ain't getting it. You aren't, Stephen. 3 really good players, by the way. Cunha's been obviously fantastic for all the season, and Mbeumo, I think so many people were talking about how good Ivan Toney was, and I was like, Ivan Toney's not their best player. And Mbeumo's their best player. Visser might be a better player. So actually, some of the defenders aren't bad as well, by the way. So yeah, I like Mbeumo. I do. It's someone that we've been linked to. I mean, I don't think we've really truly been linked with Robinson. Cunha, we have been. I know other teams in the Premier League have been, but he's not moving in January. No, I don't see any one of those 3 moving in January. And that's the difficult thing. You want loads of great talent. They're just not going to move in January. Taylor Sheridan stay fit for ages. 1 in a million, I know. Fraser Forrester has done well overall. He's done all right. He's done all right. Hang on, bloody, I missed some comments. I woke up today, Ange out. Stephen, you rang my mum today, Ange out. Bring back Santini to replace Ange. Terrible. Cardoso will be the new Poro deal for Jan. Oh, that is going to be dragging. That's going to be dragging, you know. Getting Zoom, Mendy or Cardoso or the Wolves player. Who's the Wolves player? Andre or Gomez? Players like Doggy, Odebert, and Van Ven, with loads of fast twitch muscle fibers, need adapted training programs to stop them relapsing. I just think also like the best way to like stop injuries is have incredible depth. And not incredible, I'm just talking credible. So I'm not asking for 4 world-class centre backs. I'm not asking for 4 world-class left backs. I'm asking for ability to say, if we were to say Destiny's not playing this game, and let's say I'm the credible left back, right? Just for argument's sake, you can look at me and go, yeah, he'll do a job. He's solid. But we don't have that. You know, we just don't have that. Morning, Denise, how are you, mate? Bring back Yol, Ren, that Poch ball. Okay. A much better performance. We need to take our chances, but I still want Ange gone and Levy. Well, he'll never leave. Well, no, Levy will never leave, and he's the big issue. Cunha is now injured. Is he? Did he get injured? Did I miss that? I must have missed that. But he's a quality player. Scoring midfielder only as the attack. Okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I never want to see Redknapp back. No, Redknapp, lads, Redknapp is retired. Harry is. There we go. Harry's 77 years old. If you want Harry Redknapp back, you're an absolute donut. There you go. Bring back Juan de Ramos. He's the last one that did win a trophy for us. Looking ahead for summer, I think Forster, Davies, Bentancur, Biss, Richarlison, Werner, Son. I think they might keep Son. I think Bentancur they might look at. I like Bentancur. I think he's brilliant, but they might look at Bentancur and go, mate, injuries, recklessness and suspensions. We need to have a conversation there. And he's going to be last year of his deal as well. Bissouma, last year of his deal. I'll say it now. If you can get some good money on Bentancur, I might consider it. And I think Bentancur is our best midfielder, but I would consider it because that's what you do when a player gets into his late 20s. You know? It's different when Sonny's in his late 20s and he's dropping, you know, player of the season like before years. Bentancur, not around enough. Bissouma, inconsistent. You see what I mean? So, yeah. You take me over Reggie at left back. Well, there's no one that could. There's no one. There's no. I might look. I'll give you 5 minutes. My hamstring might blow, but that's not an Ange. That's just got crap hamstrings. All right. But you do know as well. If he does get past me, I'm just going to shove him into Rose Ed. Martin Yole. Not been at Spurs for 20 years, but okay. And he understood I was taking the piss to Ange out. Yeah, I know, right? and he's playing with his AirPods a little bit too much. Ange out. Poch in +5, yeah, 1 Jack Shy. Yeah. The number of stoppages can cause injuries. Do you know what? That's something that's the issue with like the offsides with VAR. Why have they not got the automated system? I never understood that. Who in midfield to replace Bentancur, Biss, even Maddison, obviously English summer. I think Maddison has shown that he's still very much usable. He's had a decent season. But Biss and Bentancur, look, if you said Cardoso is going to be one of those guys, okay. You probably could do with maybe another 6. I mean, look, let's say, because I read that report, they don't want to get a centre back because they like Archie Gray, which shows, yeah. The higher ups really like Archie Gray because he can play centre back. We won't get a centre back. Ange out. But like, let's say they were like, actually, we like Archie Gray as a central defensive midfielder. He's going to rotate in there. Okay, could still do with another one of those though, because I feel like you can get around the 8 position. You know, you still got Bergval. You know, you can play Kulu into the midfield. You know, I can get that, but like, The 6 is where our issues lie. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can't be, are you Levy out or you Ange out? If you're Ange out, then you want Levy to stay. There you go, mate. Then it's on you. Now you're getting it. Yeah, Stephen, I know, mate. I know. I'm reading comments here about Spurs, and I'm answering. Ange out. Unstable situation, and fans want to make it more unstable with a new manager. Yeah, well, the thing is, the manager bounce lasts 2 or 3 games. But also, the new manager likes to come in where, do you know what? He can pick from, oh, look, there's more than 12 players to pick from next game. Top 4 is also Rans. That report was BS. Well, look, I just think, let's see. I mean, I like Archie. I think he's going to be an absolute megastar in football. I think he'll play for England quite a lot. And people go, I want to see Archie Gray in his actual position. And it's so funny. Those people have been real quiet recently when they realise, do you know what? We've got no defence. It's funny that. Archie's great, but not at centre back. Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't get why Dorrington. Dorrington obviously missed a big amount of time through injury, so that's really the reason. I do get it. To be fair, should we start preparing for next season? No, mate. We've got so much still to play for this season. We're in a cup semi-final. We've still got the Europa League, still got the FA Cup, and like I said, 5th place this year. We are on target this year as the Premier League to have a 5th Champions League spot. So you don't have to worry as much about top 4. Just worry about 5th. All right. By the way, Forest, fair play. 2nd in the league, fair play. I get that. Levy isn't going anywhere. There you go. But he's the issue. It's not Ange. You could have Pep Guardiola, Sir Alex Ferguson, all these people in charge right now. They're not fixing this situation. It's on business. It's on higher ups. Madders and Gray, different positions with similar money. I prefer Gray any day. I don't compare really position to position. Just compare them to players in their position. Try not to compare players. It's like comparing a right back to a left winger. Let's not try and do that. It doesn't make any sense. Archie's better than Mainu. Oh, wait, that's a shout. I know Pape Matasar is. By the way, please, I'd love to get a midfielder. Pape then can have a week off. It's okay to want Levy out, but also think Ange and the guy takes forward. They're not mutually exclusive. No, that's fair enough. But also, a new manager is just going to have the same issues as Ange is going to have. And that is mutually exclusive. The so-called toxic fans and toxic YouTubers are the problem with our club. So many injuries, they want Ange out and calling out every player. They expect us to win every game. Well, reality for some people is different. But they'll tell you it's because they think they're a better fan and they just want success for this club. Madison's more expensive on the PSR for us. Everyone, where was Chelsea last Christmas? I think they finished 6th. They were 12th. I think, are we 12th? Premier League standings. We're 11th. Oh, that means we're finishing 5th. Wait for someone to cry. Actually, it doesn't mean anything. By the way, Heung-Min, you saying Ange out ASAP changes absolutely nothing, my friend. You've said it about 40 times. Okay. All right. We understand you don't like Ange. Fine. Not a problem, mate. Archie, very good for 18-year-old. Yeah. Sell Bentancur, bring Cardoso in. I would just bring Cardoso in. Maybe Bentancur in the summer, though. Ali, thank God for you living in reality. Otherwise, I'd have nothing to watch. Well, careful. People think I'm a happy clapper. I saw links in Spain saying Levy likes Xavi. Can you imagine the fights in the ballroom between those two? Oh, that would be a horror show. You think Conte? Well, I mean, Conte was a coward because he said something, realized, oh, hang on, that might have repercussions, and then went, oh, sorry, Daniel. Mourinho didn't get on with Daniel Levy in the end. Conte didn't get on with Daniel Levy in the end. Pochettino came out in the media saying stuff about, you need to, if you buy a house, you need to furnish the house. Levy was like, mate, get out. Do you think Xavi would last longer than Xavi would last less than those managers? I'm on this is Actually, I got contacted by a company saying like, "Hey, we wanna work with you," and it was like reads off the people they work with, and I was like, "No, no, thank you. I am a different YouTuber than those people." I would sell Basuma ahead of Ben Score every day. I would agree. I would agree. I would sell Basuma over Bentancur, but I don't think Bentancur has a free pass. That's the way I look at it, because I just think Bentancur has missed time through injuries, suspensions. He's rash. You know, he's coming. I mean, hang on. Rodrigo Bentancur. He'll be 28 at the start of next season. Okay. Where's transfer market? Here we go. 28 at the start of next season. Contract expires in the summer of 2026. So a decision has to be. I think a decision needs to be made now. Not now as such, but they need to be thinking about the decision now. Do we sell him or do we keep him? Because at the end of the day, this is the summer that has to happen. And if a good offer comes in for him, if I'm honest, I'm considering it. I like him, but also in reality, he's missed so much football over the last couple of years. And sentiment's one thing, but living in the moment, long term, is it going to get any better? Probably not. You know, he was one of our best players for his ACL. No, I do agree. I said he was our best midfielder at the start of the season, but I haven't seen it enough. I don't, people talk about Basuma not being consistent enough. I think Bentancur struggles a little bit at times with consistency, because he'll go through a half where you're like, oh my God, he's so good. You go through a second half where you're like, is that the same Bentancur that played in the first half? Because I don't know who this fella is. He's not very good, you know. If we were having these results with our full first team, you could argue Ange out, but the team has been signed settled this season, so he should look. If this, let's say if the team was Vic, Destiny, Mickey, Kuti, Porro, Bentancur, Pape, Madders, Kulu, Son, Slanky, and we're in 11th, you know, we're still in the League Cup, all those things, I would be sitting there going, Ange, mate, I think Ange might be done. Now, the thing that might be saving him is the cup run, but then it didn't save Mourinho. So would he be safe? But actually, let's be real, we're in that position because we're missing half of those players and then more that are backups. Xavi would call out Levy in his first presser. Yeah, but he wouldn't get very far with that because the Barca press, even though they are intense, Daniel Levy is a different beast, you know. Levy has a cap expenditure in January, 30 mil. If so, not. I don't think there's a cap on it. There'll be a cap, but I don't think it's that. I agree on Bentancur and Biss for reasons discussed, but I feel Maddison's a part-time player in his week. Well, no, Maddison's performances this year, he's put in more performances. His output is there. He's really not my issue. Again, it's another one of those, though. Can you get an ability to rotate him a bit more that he stays fit? I mean, Maddison looks out on his feet at times, you know? Skriniar, loan, Moani, loan. I think Jonathan David's Saudi might be the play there. There's been offers from, is it Al Nassr? I think it's Al Nassr. So I think he might be off to there. But no, Skriniar and Moani don't really suit what we are. I mean, Skriniar's not a high line centre back. Not great playing out from back either. And also, Colin Moani hasn't really shown any form in the last couple of years. And they're on big money. You know, Bentancur keep, brilliant squad player. Pape Matsar, Spurs best midfielder now. When they're all fit, he might be. I just need to better manage the game. Al Dante, what can he do, mate? He plays the high press, sometimes it backfires. He plays the low line defense, it backfires. The issue is, let's just keep fit. You know, let's just keep fit. That's the big issue. And not overwork players. Like, what can he do? He's picking from 13 players. You know, everyone knows Spurs don't have PSI issues. Oh yeah, no, we don't have PSI issues. We get fed that we do. We don't. They're like walking corpses after 60th minute. They do. When clicking Spurs have some of the best football in the league, it's a pity what's happening now. It's funny how people want us to have a stronger squad, yet immediately many want us to ditch good players because they don't deem first team players. I think I can agree with somewhat, but I think some of it is also down to us going, look, in the summer, like Basuma and Bentancur, late 20s, 1 year left on their deals. Is it the right thing to give him a new deal? Have they warranted that new deal? Because with the new deal comes pay rises and years of contract. For me, I look at it the way the NFL looks at it. I'm going to give you this contract on what I think you're going to give me for the next few years. I'm not going to give you a contract on what you've done up to this date. Like, if you look at some players in the NFL, let's say they've done really good, right? And they've done 4 years and you look really good, but actually you can start to see a slight downturn in production. Even the production is still high, it's a slight downturn. You don't then go give them a 4 or 5 year deal, because if the production's coming down every single year, it's not going to get any better when you then give them money. It's just going to continue to go down. And that's the way I look at these deals personally. So if we can get better than them, we then should be moving them on to get better. That's the way I look at these things, you know? Same with any player in our squads. Spurs have the second year squad. Of course, there'll be inconsistency. I hope they give Ange to the end of the season. Injuries this season have destroyed our momentum. Agreed. Morning all. Happy New Year. Callum, Happy New Year to my friend. Happy New Year. I hope the year will treat you ever so bloody well. Right. We will be back tomorrow to talk a little bit about more Spurs. Do join me tomorrow to discuss a bit more about Spurs. That'll be the last video ahead of the 2025 year. So anyway, I'm off. I'm going to go walk a dog. I will see you all tomorrow to speak a little bit more about Spurs. Take care, everyone. Thanks for the stream. I'll see you all then. Peace.